Merry Christmas, Sherry. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Okay, weirdo.
Well, it
Is
is
right around the
mid-October, so
It's right around the corner.
it's about time that we start putting the tree up, isn't it? I mean, everyone talks about how we start these holidays earlier and earlier. So mid-October feels about right to say Merry Christmas. Nothing strikes fear in the heart of an alcoholic or an alcoholic's family like the holidays. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay.
Got some big ones right in a row. I mean, I don't think Arbor Day probably caused many triggers, or even Groundhog Day. Were you able to slide through that pretty easily?
Yeah, that Flag Day.
Flag Day didn't. That wasn't. There wasn't a cooler associated with Flag Day normally. No, you're right. But the big four, really, if you think about it, coming up, we've got Halloween, which goes right into Thanksgiving, and then Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever winter holiday it is that you celebrate. And then, of course, we have New Year's. So bam, 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 Sherry, bam, back to back. But that's going to be loud and annoying on the recording.
Yeah.
So one of the things that's really interesting about addiction recovery is that you can put some serious time in sobriety, going week after week after week, and start to get past your triggers. I know this from the perspective of the drinker. I'm going to ask you about the perspective of the loved one. But I can, like let's say, I drank. I tried not to drink in the middle of the weeks, but I drank all the time. But the really heavy drinking was on the weekends. And so I could start to put week after week after week together where I didn't drink on the weekend. And I could start to gain some confidence about the weekends, and the cravings and the triggers would kind of subside a little bit. And I'd start to be like, hey, I can do this. I've been 6 weeks and I haven't, drank at all. And here comes another weekend and I'm not even worried about it. Like that kind of momentum would start to build and confidence. How about you from the perspective of someone who you don't have any control over whether or not I drink, but you certainly have triggers. Did you start to calm down a little bit as time would pass?
I would love to say yes, I calmed down as time went past, but time as in years.
Yeah.
Not time as in weeks.
Do you think that's because you didn't control whether or not I drank?
Exactly, because I didn't control it. I didn't know what was in your head. I still don't know what's in your head, but
You're lucky. I wish I didn't.
But it's because
a party and not the good
it's
kind.
Not a good kind of party. Because there is no control. I have no idea how you're processing emotions. Often times they're in the sobriety that we're talking about for you and I, there was a detachment. I didn't want to hear what your plans, your rules, your game plan, whatever you want to call it, was anymore. And maybe
nothing strikes fear in the heart of Sherry like when I said, Sherry, I need to talk to you about something. Do you remember that?
Oh God, it still does.
Because that would often mean I've decided I've found a way I can drink. I can only drink light beer. I'm gonna drink water between every drink, or whatever it would be.
Yeah, whatever stupid rule you came up with that you would eventually break anyhow.
So you detached from anything I wanted to talk to you about.
So I wasn't very involved that time. Often times when you try to quit drinking in the past, I felt like I was carrying on with life as normal. And you were like, oh, don't touch me with anything that's not a cotton ball. I can't handle anything.
You could touch me with a boob.
Okay.
I'd be okay with that.
Okay. Can we cut and edit? But and I'm wondering if maybe that is why there is such discrepancy between the drinker and the non-drinker partner when the drinker's like, I don't know why they don't trust me anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I had to look at it in terms of years and many months, not just a week to week.
Yeah. Well, yes, I think the answer is yes. The timing piece that's a big deal. How much longer it takes the loved one, because they aren't in control of whether or not the bottle's being lifted to the lips. Whereas we drinkers, we want to get some momentum. We want to get going. We want to put some serious, effort into it, and then feel proud of ourselves and start to build that self-esteem because we've got some time in sobriety. But here's the trap. Here's the strikes fear into the heart piece. We can have week after week, month after month of going weeks and weekends without drinking, and then go falsely confident into the holidays, because the holidays are a different animal. Um, you know, all that time you lay down, let's say you got 6 months of sobriety when you go into Halloween, you might have 6 months of sobriety, but you have zero occurrences of Halloween that you've been through during the course of that 6 months. And, you know, for me, Halloween was always a big deal from childhood and then adulthood, and not like necessarily a good kind of big deal, like carrying a coffee mug, a 16-ounce coffee mug full of beer around the neighborhood while the kids trick or treat. I have some shameful memories of that. But good, bad, sideways, it was a big deal. It wasn't a holiday that I ignored. And so when I would come upon that for the first time, even with, well, in my case, I had 10 months of sobriety because I quit in January. I thought, got this licked, no problem. And I was not prepared for how stressful and triggery and cravey it would be. And then same thing for Halloween or for Thanksgiving, same thing for Christmas, same thing for New Year. Putting time down is not the same as experiencing those specific holidays. So we just wanted to give a warning to former drinkers and loved ones of drinkers that the holidays are a different animal, and you have to go through them. Really, honestly, this is probably going to scare the crap out of some people, but you got to go through them multiple times before you start to get comfortable with the idea of going through them sober without, with significantly lowered percentages of relapse chance. So we talked about, the fact that it took you years before you started to feel confident I wasn't going to drink. Was it more triggery for you at the holidays too?
Yeah. It was. That's when, I guess I should clarify. That's when my biggest fear was what is going to make him want to drink. Maybe not on the holiday, but shortly after, because that's what happens a lot of times. Is you would like white knuckle through an event, but then there would be the drinking a day or two after.
Oh yeah.
So that's where it was more years of us like going through the calendar, wondering if you were going to be triggered or just felt confident enough that you could handle it, to have, a glass of eggnog with a lot of whiskey in it at a party.
Oof.
Those sort of things.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we made it through those triggers, and we've got some significant time down, not only on the week to week, but going through the holidays as well.
Yeah.
Because nothing strikes fear in the heart of you like talking about stuff that you're unprepared for. Great job, Sherry. Oh, if you'd like to hear more of our opinionated ramblings, please check out the Untoxicated podcast.
And if you're more of the reading type, please go to soberandunashamed.com.
If you're picking up what we're laying down, you might be ready to find your tribe. Please check out echoesofrecovery.org or shoutsobriety.org. We get what you're going through. You've got this, and we've got you.